All the things.
Sorry, Deb.
I would say all the things that I mentioned about that will be emailed out to everyone, though. So if you're registered, you'll get that in writing too.
Very good. Then let's start with continue the Summit EU planning. Deb, you already have an update for registrations?
I think the Reg team actually added that.
Oh no, the Reg team has that. That's it.
Thank you, Reg.
Arnaud?
Yeah, morning. We got from last Friday 44 registration approved and confirmed. We also got a wave of approval this morning. So by end of the week, we're supposed to have more than 50 registration for the summit, which is a good sign.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Just because my audio was a bit bad, was that approved ones or just coming in and we need to check them?
44 approved.
Okay, cool. That's already a lot.
Yeah. And that's it from the registration part.
Cool. Then I guess we need to monitor that number and see if we need to adjust some kind of planning. But I guess for now that looks good. Any point in time, Deb, when we need to tell you somehow more concrete numbers?
Nope, this is good to start with. We'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah, well, so for figuring out comparative expected attendance, can you find out what our total registration was for Los Angeles?
Yeah, we just did registration for the reception in Los Angeles. We didn't make people register for the day of activities.
Okay.
But yes, I can tell you that. 1 second. We ended up with 68 people registered total.
Okay, and we had like 40 at the actual reception.
Yeah.
So we can kind of assume, assuming like 60% show rates is, not unreasonable.
Yeah. Especially by end of day, I guess. Morning will be a bit lower and then people.
Yeah, well, we're going to do some sort of follow-ups on both things, right? We're going to do a follow-up blast to people attending the day to have them suggest sessions, et cetera. And that's a good also check on who's planning on actually showing up. And then I was planning on doing a follow-up to the party that'll do a couple of things. One is we'll tell people transportation stuff, and I re-solicit that they bring board games. And kind of by default ask them to confirm. Basically ask them to check a box saying, how they think they're going to get there. Which will give us some level of confirmation.
Yeah, that's good. Increasing the signal.
Yeah. And we can never get 100%, but if we can narrow down the gap to plus or minus 30%, that's pretty much good enough.
Yeah. Then, Deb, you mentioned we need to finalize break and meal times.
Yeah.
Do we have a lunch, or I think it was only snacks, right?
We've got snacks during lunch. It's not a full lunch. So hang on, let me triple check before I say that on the record.
But we could call it lunchish time or so.
Well, it's just if people have to go out and seek food, then we'll need enough time for them to do that.
Yeah. So we do have that break kind of planned before the unconference starts.
Let me get back to you in a minute and verify.
Sure. And we do, correct me if I'm wrong, we are starting the reception an hour earlier, so at 6, so we stop at 5 p.m., right?
Correct. That's the plan right now. You could go later, but if people want to take a break or
No, a
drop
break is good.
off or that kind of thing.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
it's-
people want to dump their stuff and a
Yeah.
bunch of the hotels are like, 15, 20 minutes away. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then yeah, I tried to adjust the schedule a bit. It doesn't look like then we have a lot of slots. I'll paste the schedule, the adjusted one under here in the agenda, so you can just have a quick look. Nigel, feel free to adjust if you think needed. We don't have a lot of unconference slots if we start after lunch. The reasoning was mainly saying we're not sure when people are trickling in and starting like unconference sessions early. We might need more time to gather and vote. So if we would start after lunch, that would mean basically only 2 slots, a break, and then a third slots if we keep the 1 hour slot. Although we also said we might want to have the steering AMA.
But one thing I wasn't clear on was what was the reason for moving up the time of the reception? The venue?
We didn't move up the time. That was the time the whole time.
Okay. So we just got it wrong before and just
What
put
was
it
the time
randomly at
before?
7 p.m. I guess.
Yeah, I don't think we've done a reception as late as 7 p.m. before, because typically things end at 5 and we schedule it so we don't lose people.
Okay, so we're not restricted by the venue then. I mean, because the thing is, this is Spain, right? So
Yeah.
We could conceivably push things back. The problem is that, some of our crew will need to go to the venue at 6, regardless of whether or not most of the attendees are going to the venue by 6. But that doesn't have to be all of us. It could be just me and the CNCF staff.
Well, I think just decide what time you want to do the reception and we can figure out staffing from there. Right?
Yeah, if it would move it back to 7, then we'd have one more full unconference slot.
Yeah, of course, the question is whether or not we need that on conference slot. Because it'll feel goofy to do all this and then not have enough topics to fill up the time, which is still a possibility based on prior ones.
And how many?
Although SIG meetings are a thing.
We have a SIG meet and greet scheduled or not?
Yeah, but that's during the week.
That's
Okay,
during the
never
week,
mind.
yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
So those move out of Contributor Summit.
How many people on the registration have submitted topics so far?
I think none. Or is
So-
there something in the reg form?
Actually, in terms of all of the timing stuff here, are we still planning on doing a steering Q&A?
Good point.
Is that still on the schedule, Pooja?
Bob wanted to ask. He's not here.
He asked last week, and they're supposed to plan something in the morning, but there's no clear decision about this for now.
Otherwise, we could move it to the pre-planned session in the morning. Then we'd have the afternoon slot for actual unconference.
Yeah, that would be doable. The other option would be literally having the steering Q&A at the reception, but that would require us to have audio at the reception, which I'm not sure we do.
We don't have it currently. We haven't asked if it's an option. But are people, I don't know that the setup at the reception is ideal for a panel.
Yeah, they do have a little, at least in the photos I've seen, they do have a little stage because they have live music sometimes.
Yeah, it looked
Um,
like that. Yeah.
But is that
But-
like the place that you want people to go in and sit and watch a panel versus kind of network?
I don't know. No, because people are going to be
Yeah,
arriving
uh-huh.
erratically. People are going to be arriving
Yeah.
erratically. So,
Well, and
the,
this is like the
but doing
first-
it in the morning is a
Yeah.
possibility.
Yeah, this is, keep in mind that this is one of the, I know we did it in North America, but this is hopefully gonna get some more people than that, and people wanna see each other.
Yeah.
So,
So
I'm not remembering registration per date. Well, the thing is, we didn't ask people to register for the summit itself in
Yeah.
LA, so it's a little hard to compare tracking. I was just pleasantly surprised by the number of registrations we got in the first couple of days. Registration was open, and it has me thinking that this is going to be better attended than LA was.
yeah, I do think so. People are.
So why don't we move the steering Q&A to the morning?
Yeah, I'll move that tentatively to the morning. If it's really 10:30 or 11, we can move a bit. We can be a bit flexible based on when steering has time and
Mhm.
is about to arrive, I think. And then we definitely just have a unconference slot, and we don't have.
Okay.
Then we do have definite 3 unconference slots. There would be roughly an hour of lunch slot between 12 and 1, or late breakfast in Spain, and then we'd have half an hour small break at 3:30.
Okay. Perfect. And I confirmed we are serving lunch because there's not actually meal options within walking distance.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, I remember we had
Damn.
that conversation, but
Yeah. Okay. So then lunch can be an hour or less,
Yeah,
Mhm.
because, well, effectively lunch can be an hour, but people will also use that as a part of working sessions, which would be good.
yeah.
Sorry, I have to get the dog off my arm. So where the hell is Zoom?
Just mute him for a while. Good. So,
So just to circle back, is there, I thought there was a question in the registration for if folks were interested in submitting topics for the unconference. Am I mistaken in that?
no, I think we have one. Let me go look.
Okay,
Yeah.
because it would
The
be, at least
The
for now.
follow-up would be more, hey, if you're interested in submitting, you said you were interested in submitting a topic, but honestly, we'll blast everybody. Here's, a document where you can add stuff. And here's a sheet. If your SIG wants to have a meeting, here's a sheet where you can schedule a SIG meeting.
Yeah,
It wasn't really, it's not really necessary to do this as 2 steps. We're honestly doing it as 2 steps more so that we can get better signal on who's actually planning on showing up versus who registered for 3 different things on Monday.
right. I get that bit. I'm just trying to like, as a gauge for, how many
Yeah.
registrants do we have now and how many people have indicated or submitted topics? Like, that's just a helpful metric.
Mhm. Yep.
and we'd let 6 basically choose one of the 2 small rooms based on the schedule, right? We do have this sheet, the meeting room sign up sheet that we could give them.
Yeah, it would be good for SIG signups, suggestion to Nigel, is that we set up some kind of a sign up sheet for SIG signups that not only has, SIG X wants this time slot, but also for people of the SIG to sign up that they're going. Because that would be helpful to the SIGs trying to have the meeting. And it also, again, is helpful for us determining who's actually showing up during the day.
Yeah, currently we just have this sheet.
Yeah.
So we asked them which one of your SIGs working groups or other teams would like to hold a meeting during the contributor summit? Or would one of yours like to hold it? If so, which one? We say it's going to be an unconference. Do you expect to propose or lead a session? But we don't actually ask them if they like what the session would be. We just ask them if they plan to propose one.
Understood.
Yeah, and that'll be the follow-up, right? Is to say, what is it, et cetera. Originally, I was thinking we were going to use that partly to see if there was anything so wide-reaching we wanted to use it in the pre-programmed slot in the morning. But now it sounds like we were going to use that for the steering Q&A, in which case we're not looking for a pre-programmed slot. We're just looking to follow up with people.
Do we need to do any sort of education around like what an unconference is and expectations, or are we just assuming that people who would be eligible for the contributor summit are aware of an unconference style?
I think we're going to need to do education. I mean, I think probably 50% of them are, but the other 50% are not. The difference is for SIG meetings, we want them to be able to pick time slots in advance because they have to get their SIG members there.
Sure. So that's just I'm just thinking of action items between now and whenever we're doing communication, looking for topics like.
Yeah, which realistically is probably going to be next week.
Well,
we're not that far away.
If you have somewhere that you're going to collect topics, we can also link it in the reg form so that when they are there, be like, go here and propose it kind of a thing. If you want, then you could get a general idea.
Yeah. So should I just make a Google form for this, or does someone have a better suggestion?
It would be better to have something where everybody can see the topics that have already been proposed,
Like
and
a
maybe even
board or
check off
something?
that they're interested. We can use Google Docs for this because anybody who's planning to go to the Contrib Summit should be a member of KDEV.
Okay.
So as long as the doc is shared with KDEV, then people can share.
All right. All right. I'll work on that this afternoon. I also need to double check that I'm a member of KDEV.
Otherwise, we can fix that. Yes.
Oh, there are ways.
Cool. Just checking through what was open from last time. We did confirm the location for the reception, right? We don't have anything open there yet anymore.
Yeah. Are we on reception here? Because I have stuff.
So did we finalize a time that we wanted? Did we say 6 worked, or were you trying to, since you moved the steering to earlier?
Okay.
Okay, let's do 7. Then we have one more slot for.
Okay, well, if we're doing 7, we have one more slot. If steering is moved to the morning, then we have 4 slots, and I don't think we needed 4 slots.
We don't
maybe
have
we
to
do.
use the 4 slots because maybe people can finish even before 4 p.m. So we give just room to gather, talk about a lot of things before go to the reception.
Yeah, maybe the last slot is just like a. If you don't have enough things, then we can leave the last slot open. If there's too many topics, we would have a little bit of buffer there, right?
Do you think people, if you don't have something in that time slot, are people going to get jet lagged, tired, distracted, go to their hotel room and fall asleep if you wait too long?
That's a possibility. The other thing is that if we don't have anything in the last time slot, the other thing is some people will just go ahead and go straight to the reception location, no matter what time they've been told.
Right. That's typically what happens.
So the I mean, I would say if we want to start the reception at 7 p.m., then we should keep the steering Q&A where we had it arranged, which is at 5
To
p.m.
the end. Okay.
at the end.
Why don't we do 6:30? Like buses depart from the convention center at 6. The reception actually starts at 6:30. It's the middle of the road with both ways, and then you have flexibility.
Okay. And we still end at 5 and people have a break between 5 and 6
Yeah,
so that they can wash
Yeah,
up and dump their stuff.
yeah. And the buses are going to take 20 minutes to get to the reception venue anyway. So this way doesn't cut into anyone's time of trying to rush back to their hotel or trying to not make a bus, that kind of a thing.
Works for me.
Okay.
So at 5 we close, and it's the break to get refreshed.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, can I move on to other reception stuff?
Okay.
So other reception stuff, Deb, while you were stepping out at the beginning of this meeting, there was a question of whether or not people can bring +1s to the reception. From my perspective, that's going to kind of depend on the numbers. If we have extraordinarily high registration, then that might not be feasible based on capacity. But then the other question is, are there legal finance restrictions from your end of things that would prevent a +1 regardless of capacity?
Yes, we have to stay within budget. I think the priority should be given to those that register. And then if we have space based on what we've guaranteed, then yes, we can add them in. But that was the one that I said that no matter what, whoever joins has to be fully vaccinated.
Right.
And show proof of vaccination.
Yeah, by +1s, we specifically mean spouses and the like, not random other Kubernetes community members.
Right.
I think that comes down to also what you all would like.
Right. Well, from my perspective, the reception is if it's going to be like LA and we're going to have like 40 or plus people there, then in that case, I would like people to bring +1s because we want the extra numbers. It would make it more fun. From my perspective, the only reason why we wouldn't want +1s is if registration for the reception is running at, like 100 or more. And then we just don't have the space. But I want to know if it's sort of legally possible before we even consider it as an option.
Yeah, that's a good point.
What do you mean by legally possible?
I mean,
It
might be that CNCF says, I'm sorry, we can't let people in who are not registered for the conference, regardless of capacity.
Okay, I'll go triple check with them. I know the rule is that you have to be fully vaccinated. You have
Yes.
to follow all our health and safety measures,
Mhm.
things like that. But beyond that, I'm not aware that there would be any legal requirements saying no. Budget wise, I brought that up. It's going to depend on, those kind of numbers. I'll triple check with the CNCF exec team, but
Yeah, insurance issues, stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of stickiness there. I mean, it could be a corporate policy, who knows?
Yeah. So let's find out
I
if
know
that.
we've done it for other events. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I will find out for sure.
Okay. The other thing is looking at activities for the reception. We had the additional suggestion to do the new contributor bingo card, like we did in San Diego. And I think that's probably a good idea because we're going to have a bunch of people who, even though they've been contributing for 2 years, they've never been to one of these before.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a lot of people who are not actually new contributors, but they are new to meeting anybody in person in the community. And so I think doing the bingo cards would be a good idea. So a couple of questions there. Number one, Deb, I can bring one prize for the bingo.
Okay.
Would we have any budget for like an additional prize.
Yep.
Okay.
Uh,
Roger,
Yeah,
would you be able to take on creating a bingo card? You can start
Sure.
from the one that we did from San Diego
sure.
and just like modify it and that sort of thing.
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
And then if you send it to me, we'll take care of printing it. I'll give you a print deadline just so you can.
Yeah.
Great. If you can get San Diego on.
Say it again.
I said, if somebody can get me San Diego's,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, happy to.
Cool.
Anything else around the reception? besides the
that should be
bingo
it.
and-
On the significant other thing, you,
Mhm.
Josh, as you were saying that, that made me think about this. So you were mentioning the fact that folks are, it's going to be hopefully a significant amount of people that have not been to something like this before. Do you want to keep it as a close-knit circle so that they feel the networking and welcome attitude? Versus maybe people that already know each other and then go off with significant others and kind of create groups. You guys have always been very welcoming, so I don't think that'll happen, but it is a new setting.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, one of the reasons why I'd like to do significant others, if our expected attendance is relatively low, is that among other things, I'm worried about diversity. And allowing people to bring significant others would improve that. Again, if we have low numbers.
Okay.
Just because, you know,
I know of a few people that are going with spouses, just myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I am, but she's not going to be interested in going to the contributor summit party. So it'd be like,
What?
you know,
Come on.
be a punishment as far as she's concerned. So
Not fun enough?
yeah,
You don't know a good time.
But there's others are going to be different, right?
Yeah.
You know, so even if it's okay by the Linux Foundation, then we're going to have to do that on sort of a contingency basis where we're going to let people say, I would like to bring my significant other, but then we're going to have to say, we're not going to be able to tell you finally whether or not you can until like a week out.
Hmm.
Because again, if our numbers are very high, if we're near capacity,
Yeah.
then we're going to have to say no to plus ones for budget reasons. But if we're not,
Yeah, and the question would be like, I think we had this in chat today where people were asking if like people with a few contributions but who are not members could join the contributor summit, and if we would take people from that kind of wait list first to add, or if we'd fill up with plus ones.
well, the answer is they should apply for their org membership. And then once they've applied, we can grant an exception, even if it hasn't gone through yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
like if they show up with a PR.
Yeah.
If it's got plus ones and it's just not approved yet, that's
Yeah.
totally fine.
And
Yeah.
and that's what our registration says already. As it says, if you're in the process of being approved, please contact.
Nigel, can you tell them in Slack? I think you answered the, or who
Right.
was it? No, it wasn't Nigel, it was Arnaud, I think.
If anybody is and does have a PR open and is waiting on somebody to say plus one, like tell them to reach out to me.
Yeah.
I know one person who is trying to join. This is about the repo joining, like to be able
Joining
to
the
be
org,
eligible.
Yeah, org member, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know one person that is wanting to become eligible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do kind of see a difference between somebody wants to be an org member, but has not actually contributed anything to Kubernetes yet.
Mhm.
And somebody who has a couple PRs, couple reviews, et cetera, to their credit.
I'll
Um,
double check. I know they're active in the CNCF landscape, but I don't know how much Kubernetes specifically.
Yeah.
So I'll double check on that.
Also, we have a waiting list, so we don't necessarily need the people interested to come to the summit file for the org requests, because we can approve them basically by a week before the event and say, oh, you can come even if you are not org member of one of the Kubernetes organization, but because you are interested to do contribution, you can come. Because I think in the past we did something like that, especially because of the contributor workshop, we had people, I don't remember, it was maybe Barcelona or something like that, but I think we had a waiting list and we decided to approve the people even they were not org members.
Yeah.
So we can do something like that.
I mean, again, if registration is low, then it's worth considering, although I would tend to differentiate between people who have made a couple of contributions and are not org members versus people who've made no contributions at all.
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
Just because one of the problems that we had in the past is that we couldn't filter the new contributor workshop people based on who actually attended the workshop.
Mm.
And as a result, we had a bunch of people register for the NCW just because they wanted to go to the contributor party. And have never contributed anything to Kubernetes either before then or since then.
Yeah, that was a good trick
and I
to
don't
get
want those
around.
people. Yeah, it's not what this event is for.
No.
So, and honestly, the whole org membership thing is, if they have made a couple of contributions and they're starting from now, let's get them an org membership.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
part of it is to actually push that, is that we have a lot of people out there. We have people out there who have over 100 contributions and they have not gotten their org membership.
Yeah, that's what I told my team too. It's like, why don't you just apply? I mean,
Right. Damn, that's a lot of time. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it
That's a
is.
lot. That's a lot.
It is, and
Yeah.
we've been kind of swamped. We need to go on a campaign, particularly because that that list skews heavily towards Asia.
Hmm.
So I think part of it is because they attend a lot fewer of the live meetings for time zone reasons, they're not necessarily aware of this whole thing. And so that's a reason to use the contributor summit to push people towards applying for an org membership instead of just taking them off the wait list without them applying for org membership, if you follow me.
Yeah.
Chris, can you drop a note in the Slack, the contributor summit Slack, something like they can wish community at case.io if they're still in if they are open an issue?
I'm sorry. I'm late for something. I need to go.
Okay.
Sorry.
Hey, Roger.
Oh no, can you just ping me, DM me that?
Okay.
Thanks.
Oh, is Arnaud on the community alias? If not, we should probably add him for registration questions.
Right.
Yeah.
I think he's not. When I was
Okay.
doing my PR, I didn't see it.
I mean, mind you, I'm not seeing much traffic there.
No.
Oh, wait
There's
a
an
minute.
invoice coming in today.
Something changed about that.
Can I ask a question about the schedule that's in the agenda doc now?
Yeah.
Got 9 o'clock breakfast and banter, and then steering committee AMA at 10:30. Are you thinking that breakfast and AM break kind of merge into one? And we just have some snacks available from 9 to 10:30?
Yeah, we thought they'll just be available, and people, it's not a real breakfast, it's just arriving and maybe having a snack and talking.
Perfect. Just
Not
wanted-
expecting a lot of people, to be honest, to
Awesome.
arrive early.
Yeah, we're deliberately getting a slow start because we think there'll both be people who will be arriving on Sunday and horribly jet lagged.
Yeah.
And there'll be people who are coming in from nearby European countries who are arriving that morning.
If they don't get delayed, because I think nowadays flights get delayed. Like mine got delayed for a few hours now already, pre-delayed.
Oh, my flight status is I've been on like 5 different planes by now.
It's
It's nuts.
yeah, I'm not checking before like a week before.
Yeah, good call.
That was then we talked about registration, we talked about celebration. Do we need to do anything next for comms? What is the next? Do we have a next thing to send out? What would be the next one?
Just a friendly reminder at this point, I guess.
Yeah.
Let me pull up the plan real quick. Let's see. So normally we would say the registration is open, but we already did that. So the SIG meet and greet email if needed, social and event email, and then the know before you go email are what's left. I'm happy to send out a reminder to folks or any like changes, because we did like combine 2 of the emails we initially sent out.
Yeah.
Well, so next week we're going to want to send out a bunch of stuff about the content.
Okay.
Mhm.
Because we'll really need to actually send out our follow-ups, one where people sign up for stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
And second, where actually probably the following week, I'll want to solicit people about the party.
Mhm.
Okay.
So about 2 weeks out from the event.
But we could already open the 6 slots, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. It's just that 2 weeks out will actually, yeah, we want to open the 6 slots as soon as possible
Let's see.
because people will need to arrange those.
Yeah, I want to see if we sent out anything about that. We didn't.
Yeah.
Well, we did say if you have an idea for a talk, reach out to us. Or
Yeah.
if you or your SIG want a session, please reach out.
Yeah.
Talk to the community. I mean, I can reiterate that. No problem.
Yeah. Nigel, I want to redo the sign up sheet. I don't really, that sign up sheet that we have, I don't think it's going to work.
Mm.
Okay.
Well, for a couple of reasons. One is we want the time slots to line up with the unconference time slots so that people can switch back and forth. And the second reason is, I kind of feel like we want a separate SIG sign up sheet.
Sure. So then in the unconference section, or like do we want to add a section to the new sign up sheet to be more intentional about gauging interest for the unconference?
Yeah, interest for the unconference though would be without time slots.
Right.
Because we will not
Yeah.
determine time slots until people arrive in the morning.
Of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as like we were saying before, like what we have is mostly just like saying that someone might be interested, or maybe there's a topic submission, but I'm curious about what in practice you want to do with the new sign-up sheet.
Yeah. Well, so separate from the SIG sign-up sheet, which should be requests for time slots, et cetera. For a follow-up on the unconference thing, it would be just some kind of open sheet for people to suggest topics and for other people to indicate interest. It would be kind of like a precursor round to the actual unconference topic selection.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the 6 sign-up sheet would be basically allowing 6 throughout the day to book one of the 2 smaller rooms separate from the unconference, just to reserve it and say, hey, we're going to do this work group meeting, or we're going to do 6 storage.
Okay. So I want to understand the ask of me here.
Let's you and I work on a sign up sheet after this.
Okay. All right, sounds good.
Thank you.
Because I do, as a matter of fact, I'm doing something very similar for the Red Hat booth. So it'll be a similar spreadsheet design experience.
Okay.
Right.
Anything else that we need to do for content? So 6 sign up
Oh,
sheet and
Nigel,
then-
have you confirmed that you're able to go, or is that still up in the air?
It is not up in the air. I will be going.
Yay!
So I booked hotel. I just need to book flights.
For anybody coming from over the ocean, do look at the possibility of flying into Barcelona or Madrid and taking the train. That might be more feasible at this point.
My hope is to get some PTO and to be in Spain for a couple weeks before the conference.
Ooh,
Sorted.
that'll be fun.
even
So
better.
fingers crossed on that.
Although, do you really want to be taking PTO and be taking Slack messages about setting up the contributor summit?
Decisions.
And to clarify on the question that we had earlier about folks interested in getting involved with Kate's but aren't currently members of the organization, is there a pathway for those folks to attend the contributor summit?
Basically, we'd like them to try for org membership.
Okay.
Like we can make an exception, but at least let them try. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the answer is, if they have opened a PR for org membership and emailed us, then we'll allow them to register.
Okay.
If they haven't even opened a PR for org membership, then the answer is they're on the wait list and might or might not be notified a week out that they can attend.
Okay. Sounds good.
Oh yeah, it's an issue. Yeah.
Okay.
Been a while. Good. Do we have anything else open? I'll ping Bob on the steering thing to see if there was any status there. And I think Nigel, you and I, Nigel, did you already get access to the SCED?
Yes. Deb sorted that out last meeting. I haven't logged on, but I do have access.
Cool. And somehow we can enter some rough schedule in there, I guess.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Okay. Anything else that we need to talk about? Otherwise, I think we're done. Next week is Easter Monday, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I might not be there. I'm on the Greek island, so I'm not sure if I have any access.
I won't be here either next week.
Okay.
My
I get Friday off,
availability-
so I'll be around. But
My availability is going to be very weird over the next couple of weeks.
do we want to try to set up something for Tuesday next week? Because I don't feel like we can skip a week, given that
Yeah,
we're less than
maybe.
a month out.
Yeah.
So we set up a time slot for Tuesday, and if people can make it, they make it.
Okay, yeah. I'll still be in Greece, so I'm not sure if I can make it, but I can move it. Let's move it to Tuesday then.
Okay. I can be here Tuesday.
Cool.
Because more people will be able to do on Tuesday. Good. Then,
Tuesday at the same time or at a different time?
what do people prefer? I guess same time confuses less, but I don't know.
I do have
Yeah.
a conflict at the same time. So
Okay.
I'm physically here, but I don't. I can probably join 15 or 20 minutes into the call.
Well, just my suggestion is pick a time, Pooja, and send it out to everybody.
Okay. I'll send
Okay.
something out. See ya. Bye-bye.
Okay.